Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will discuss another very important topic in the cytology, and that's all about related with ribosomes. Let us see what are these ribosomes, what are its types, and what are their functions. The first point you will keep in mind that ribosomes जो होते हैं, ribosomes are simply defined as a cell organelles. These are the cell organelles that are located in the cytoplasm of, they are located in the cytoplasm of both prokaryotic cells as well as eukaryotic cells. So this is the first point. So what I am telling you that ribosomes are simply defined as a cell organelles that are located in the cytoplasm of both prokaryotic cells as well as eukaryotic cells. Now, what does this mean? Prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are simply defined as those cells which contain a primitive type of nucleus. In these organisms, the genetic material is represented in the form of a special structure, and that structure is called a nucleoid. That is called a nucleoid. Whereas, if we look towards the eukaryotic cells are those cells which contain EU. EU का मतलब क्या हुआ? EU simply means beta true. So these are the cells that contain a true nucleus. Those cells are called as the eukaryotic cells. Second point, you will keep in mind that ribosomes, they were first of all discovered by a well-known cytologist whose name was whose full name was George Emil Palade, Palade. So that is why these ribosomes, they are also called as the Palade. They are also called as the Palade particles. So अगर आपके एग्जाम में पूछा जाए कि पैलेडी पार्टिकल्स किनको बोलते हैं, तो आपका सिंपल आंसर आना चाहिए ribosomes. So the second point. Third point, you will keep in mind that ribosomes are the cell organelles that are considered as the smallest cell organelles. So these are the smallest. Second, third property इनकी ये होती है बेटा कि ये क्या होते हैं? These are smallest cell organelles. Very important point to remember. Okay. Now next point, you will keep in mind that ये जो ribosomes होते हैं, ribosomes are not covered by any kind of the membrane. So they are not covered by any kind of any membrane. There are two specialized structures in the cell cytoplasm which are not covered by any membrane. One is the ribosome and second one is called nucleolus. Okay, now let us move ahead. If we now look towards the cell contains three important types of ribosomes. The first type of ribosome is simply called as the free ribosomes. Those are called free ribosomes. What are these free ribosomes? As the name indicates, these are the ribosomes that are freely present in the cytoplasm. They are not bound with any other cell organelles. So what I mean to say that free ribosomes are present, these are present freely in cytoplasm. The second type of ribosome is called as the bound ribosomes. Those are called as the bound ribosomes. Now, what does as a name indicates? Bound ribosomes are actually those ribosomes which are attached with another cell organelle, and that cell organelle is called a rough endoplasmic reticulum. So these are the ribosomes which are attached with RER. Now, you will always keep in mind a very important point. I am going to tell you that these ribosomes are attached with the RER with the help of a special glycoprotein, and the name of that glycoprotein is called riboforin. That is better called as a riboforin. So if you will be asked, name the glycoprotein which helps us in the attachment of ribosomes with the endoplasmic reticulum, so the answer will be riboforin. The third type of ribosome is what we call as the organellar ribosome. I write down here, these are called beta organellar ribosomes. Now, what does this mean, sir? Organellar ribosomes. That means these are the ribosomes which are present in other cell organelles. We have two important cell organelles that have their own genetic material and that have their own ribosomes. The first one is called this what we call as a mitochondria. Mitochondria, you know, mitochondria is also called as the powerhouse of the cell. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया के अंदर जो बेटा राइबोसोम्स होते हैं तो इनको हम क्या बेटा बोलेंगे माइटो दोज आर कॉल्ड एज अ माइटो राइबोसोम्स. So this is the first cell organelle which has got its own this what we call as a ribosome. The second one is what we call as the plastids. प्लास्टिड्स के अंदर जो आपका राइबोसोम बेटा पाया जाएगा उनको हम सिंपली बेटा बोलेंगे प्लास्टिडो. दे आर सिंपली कॉल्ड एज अ प्लास्टिडो राइबोसोम्स. So the difference between the two is that mitoribosomes are the special ribosomes that are found in the mitochondria, whereas plastidoribosomes are the ribosomes which are found in the plastids. For example, we talk about the chloroplasts. There are two. That is why you will always keep in mind. That is why this mitochondria and this plastid, they are also called as a semi-autonomous cell organelles. So these two are the cell organelles which are also called as the semi-autonomous. They are also called as a semi-autonomous cell organelles. What does that mean? Let me tell you. What does that mean, semi-autonomous? It means these are the cell organelles that partly depend on their own DNA and partly they depend upon the nuclear DNA. That is what semi-autonomous cell organelles mean. So these are the three types of the ribosomes: free ribosomes, then we have the bound ribosomes, and then we have the organellar ribosomes. Now let us move ahead. Next point, you will keep in mind that there are another two important ribosomes which are based on the basis of sedimentation coefficient, and the first type of ribosome is called as a ATS ribosome. This is called beta ATS ribosome, and the second type of ribosome is what called beta, they are called 70S. They are called beta 70S ribosome. Now let us see the concept of this S. We will also discuss what does this S mean. Look towards the board. You know, ATS ribosomes are what? ATS ribosomes are the specialized ribosomes which are found in the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cells. So these are the ribosomes which are found in the eukaryotic cells. Whereas if we will look towards the 70S ribosomes, 70S ribosomes are the ribosomes which are found in the prokaryotic cells, as well as these cell organelles are also found in both mitochondria as well as plastids. So I will write down here plus, I will write down here they are present also in the mitochondria, and I will write down here beta chloroplast. So you will always keep in mind, suppose a question will come that what is the similarity between prokaryotic cells, mitochondria and chloroplast. Let me tell you. So one of the most important similarities is that all these three cells, whether it is a prokaryotic cell, whether it is beta the mitochondria or the chloroplast, they contain 70S ribosome. The second very important similarity between the three is that you will always keep in mind that these three have their own genetic material, and that genetic material, you know what that is actually called as a DNA, and the shape of the DNA is what we call as a circular, that is circular, not the linear. If we look towards our nucleus also contains the genetic material, but that genetic material is double stranded and is linear in shape. If we look towards these cell organelles, for example, like that of the mitochondria, like that of the plastids, like that of the bacterial cells, they also contain their DNA, but the DNA is this what we call as it is double stranded, but it is circular in shape. So that is circular in shape. Now let us move ahead. If we look towards another difference between the two types of the ribosomes, we'll always keep in mind that ATS ribosomes are the ribosomes which are composed of a larger subunit and a smaller subunit. For example, this is beta the larger subunit and this is beta called as a smaller subunit. Here, this 70s ribosome, it is also composed of a larger subunit and this smaller subunit. The larger subunit of the 80s ribosome is what called, it is better called as a 60s ribosome. And the smaller subunit is actually called as the 40s ribosome. Okay, now if we look towards the 70s ribosome, 70s ribosome is also made up of a larger subunit, and that larger subunit is simply called as the 50s, and the smaller subunit that is actually called as a beta 30s. So you will always keep in mind. But let me tell you a very interesting point with regard to these ribosomes. You will always keep in mind. You know, the main function of the ribosome is that they are responsible for the formation of the proteins. But during protein formation, these ribosomal subunits, they get dissociated. The association and the dissociation of these ribosomal subunits is dependent upon the concentration of magnesium ions. So this is very important point. Magnesium ions. Okay, this is very important point to remember. Now let us move ahead. Let us now see this composition of this what we call as a ribosomes. देखिए बेटा, ये जो आपके पास ribosomes होते हैं, ribosomes are actually what? These are ribonucleoprotein particles. That's most important point. So these ribosomes are what? These are ribonucleoprotein particles. What does that mean? Let us see. It is ribonucleo. It is related with a special type of RNA, and that RNA is called rRNA. That is what is called rRNA. So what is the full form of rRNA? It means ribosomal ribose nucleic acid. Normally in the cell, we have three types of the RNAs. The first one is called mRNA, messenger ribose nucleic acid. Then we have the tRNA, transfer ribose nucleic acid. And then the third one is called ribosomal ribose nucleic acid. Plus, it is also made up of this what we call as a protein. So this is actually called as these are called beta ribonucleoprotein particles. If you will be asked that ribosomes are composed of what? They are simply composed of rRNA and they are composed of protein. But let me tell you another very important point. If you will be asked that this rRNA is where formed in the cell. You know, we have the nucleus. Nucleus has got a nucleoplasm. That nucleoplasm contains chromatin fibers, but that also contains the superficial structure that is actually called as a nucleolus. So nucleolus is a structure that is called as the storehouse of rRNA. It is the structure where this ribosomal RNA is formed. That's very important. Now, let us see the concept of this S. Most important, the striking feature that the students are not able to understand. Let me tell you this concept of this what we call as a S. What does this concept of this S mean? That you have seen that I have write down 80S. What does this S now mean? I write down 70S. What does this S mean? S means what? S directly means beta sedimentation. It simply means beta sedimentation. It means sedimentation coefficient. It is sedimentation coefficient. This is also called as the, or I will write down, it is also called as the Swedberg. It is also called as the Swedberg unit. Now, you will keep in mind that one Swedberg unit is equal to, इसका वैल्यू क्या होता है? इसका वैल्यू जो होता है that is 10 raised to power minus 13 seconds. So what I mean to say that one Swedberg unit is equal to 10 raised to power minus 13 seconds. Now let us see what does this 80s mean. 80s का मतलब क्या हुआ? 70s का मतलब एक्चुअल में क्या हुआ? 80 का मतलब ये हुआ 80 into 10 raised to power minus 13 seconds. What does this mean? Let me tell you. You know, we have a special technique, and the technique is called centrifugation. Centrifugation is actually a technique, or we can say sedimentation. Sedimentation is actually a technique which is used to sediment the ribosomes in a particular centrifuge tube. For example, I have this centrifuge tube. Let me tell you, this is for example like that, this is a centrifuge tube. Now, I have to perform the sedimentation of these ribosomes. Once I will pour, for example, I will place this 80S ribosome here into this centrifuge tube. Now, I will switch on the machine. these tubes, they will revolve, they will undergo centrifugation, and a time will come when the ribosome, this ATS ribosome, will settle down into the bottom. Now we have to see when it will undergo sedimentation. So the time will be 80 into 10 raised to power minus 13 seconds. Same is the case. For example, what does 70 now mean? 70 is equal to, it means 70 into 10 raised to power minus 13 seconds. So it is actually the time which indicates that this is the time that is required by the ribosome to undergo sedimentation in a superficial tube, and that tube is called a centrifuge. This is what I called as a centrifuge tube. This is actually called as a centrifuge tube. So same is the case with, for example, I will tell you what does 60s mean. It means 60 into 10 raised to power minus 13 seconds. I will tell you, for example, 30s. 30s means 30 into 10 raised to power minus 13 seconds. So this is the concept of it. S. S means sedimentation, or it also means Swedberg unit. Now let us move ahead. Now we'll see what is the function of, what are the functions of these, what we call as the ribosomes. You know, ribosomes are called the key players of translation. They are called the key players of translation. That is why we say that ribosomes are called protein. They are called simply as the protein factories of the cell. They are called protein factories of the cell. What does that mean? That means, you know what is actually a protein? Protein is simply defined as a polymer of, it is simply defined as a polymer of amino acids. It is simply defined as a polymer of amino acids which are linked by a superficial bond, and that bond is called a peptide bond. So ribosomes की जो मेन फंक्शन होती है वो ये होती है बेटा कि ये ऐसे सेल ऑर्गेनेल्स होते हैं जो सेल के अंदर प्रोटीन्स बनाएंगे, और प्रोटीन क्या होता है? प्रोटीन होता है पॉलीमर ऑफ अमाइनो एसिड्स। लेकिन जिस मैकेनिज्म से ये प्रोटीन की फॉर्मेशन होती है सेल के अंदर, उस मैकेनिज्म को आपको नाम याद रखना पड़ेगा। दैट मैकेनिज्म इज एक्चुअली कॉल्ड एज द ट्रांसलेशन। दे आर कॉल्ड एज द ट्रांसलेशन। ठीक है ना बेटा? सो व्हाट इज ट्रांसलेशन? ट्रांसलेशन मीन्स अ मैकेनिज्म व्हिच इज रिस्पांसिबल फॉर द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ प्रोटीन from a single stranded molecule, and that single stranded molecule is actually made in the nucleus of the cell. Then through nuclear pores the mRNA comes out, it reaches to the cytoplasm where it binds with the ribosomes and leads to the formation of proteins. So what does it mean now? So when the mRNA is converted into the protein, we call this mechanism as a what? We call this mechanism as a translation. Thank you.